Hey everybody, it's Mr. Gilbert. Whoops, I apologize. I have the wrong window up there. It is Mr. Gilbert, and it's writing today for Wednesday, May. Let me look at my handy dandy iPhone. May 13th. It's May 13th today. And today we're going to be reading an article that Mr. Scott wrote with you on, I believe, Monday and Tuesday. Sorry, I thought I had the right one up, and I had the wrong one. And that's called Scared Stiff. So today you guys are going to be reading Scared Stiff. Look, I'm in the middle of the page. Hey. And this is the prompt today. It's kind of an open-ended prompt. It's kind of like a retell. It's called Describe Fainting Goats. So the article that you read with Mr. Scott on, I believe it was Monday, maybe it was Tuesday, was Scared Stiff. So what we're going to do is we're going to reread that, and we're going to describe what a fainting goat is. Now, again, I wrote describe fainting goats as our prompt because I kind of want you to on your own independently tomorrow when we write this article. I want you to do a little bit of framing. That's why I left the question here a little bit more open ended. We're going to do a simple box and bullet plan. So if you don't have right now a pencil and paper, go grab one and then do number 1, 2, and 3. Oops. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3 below. And let's go ahead and let's reread and let's just describe what a fainting goat is. So when I think of describe something, I'm usually thinking of, well, what is it? Why is it called that? And what other information can we provide about this so-called fainting goats? So let's read Scared Stiff together. We'll periodically stop and check in. Imagine driving down a country road past a huge open field where goats are grazing. Oh, I'm sorry. Ugh. Some lazily munching on weeds while others happily running and leaping about. Suddenly, a truck backfires. Boom! There's just suddenly a goat that falls to the ground. A few minutes pass and the goats pop back up to their feet. What just happened? Well, the goats were scared stiff and dropped to their feet. But not all goats act like this. There's only one kind of goat that behaves in this way when it is surprised, and it's called the Tennessee fainting goat. Now, let's stop here at the end of paragraph 2, and let's see if you can provide one detail to describe fainting goats. I'll give you a few minutes to do that if you didn't catch on. I'm going to go ahead and write mine, and I'm just going to write, I'm going to describe what it is, kind of that framing bit. I'm going to write Tennessee fainting goats as my major detail here. And then my descriptive, I'm going to describe what they are. What happens to them? They faint when they hear loud noises, or become scared. So I'm first off, this is the bit where I'm going to frame out my piece. I'm saying what they are. Okay, the article is called "Scared Stiff." Sorry, talking too fast. The prompt is describe them, describe the fainting goats. And I'm going to start by saying, well, they're Tennessee fainting goats. That's what we're talking about. And what are they? Well, they become scared, they faint. Let's go ahead. Let's continue reading. Let's read paragraphs 3 and on. In the 1800s, a man in a Marshall County, Tennessee, people say he had came from Nova Scotia, Canada. The man had a few goats and one cow. Smell lonely cow. Since the man did not talk much, no one knows where he got the goats. When he left, he took the cow, but he sold the goats. Whew, I'm so sorry, boys and girls. I've been outside painting all day, and in the sun, I'm absolutely exhausted. The behavior of at least one of these goats was different from most others. Being frightened caused the goat's body to go stiff and sometimes fall over. No one has seen these goats do this before. They began to call this new goat a Tennessee fainting goat, which is odd because this is happening in Nova Scotia, Canada. Huh. These special kind of goats do not actually faint; they just look like they do. The fainting goats stay awake, and uh, and not all of them fall over. The baby goats, however, usually do fall over. But the good thing is they do not actually fall far. Some older ones learn to stand near something like a fence or tree just in case they are afraid. Okay, so let's stop here. Okay. And let's take a look at paragraph 3 through 5. There's some interesting information. Well, they are called fainting goats, but do they actually faint? Why don't you write a detail down to describe these goats? Okay, so I'm going to write my detail down. I'm going to start with not all of these goats are fainting. You know what? Let's actually say not all. Um, not all fainting goats. Uh, not all fainting goats. Not all goats faint. And then I'm going to actually describe that. What I mean by that? Well, go ahead and let's write. Uh, a, that's right. Tennessee fainting goats don't actually faint. They just fall over and become stiff. But actually, I missed the U. So again, I want to make it in my paragraph that not all goats are fainting goats, right? There's a specific type of goat, and I'm going to use that's why I said not all goats faint. And I'm pulling that right out of paragraph 3 and 5 here. And then I'm going to go ahead and describe Tennessee fainting goats aren't fainting. They're actually just becoming stiff and they fall over. The baby goats a lot of times will fall over, right? Because they don't know to stand against a wall or fence or a tree when they faint and their body becomes stiff. But the older goats, as they become older and adults, kind of like that article we read about why animals play, as they learn to stand near something when they become scared so they don't fall over. All right, let's continue reading. Let's do paragraph 5 and 6 here. Actually, just paragraph 6. Now, all about 3,000 fading goats. Sorry, let me reread that. Now, there are about 3,000 fading goats in the United States. People who have these animals love them. Goats of this kind are gentle, smart, and playful. They are scared, stiff, and now and then the moment of stiffness only lasts about 10 or 15 seconds, and then the goats are back to their feet, good as new. Okay, so this is a good bit of information. You only have one paragraph here to kind of sum up the article. Go ahead and why don't you finish your article with something to describe these goats from paragraph 6. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to say 3,000 goats in the USA are goats. And yes, I know you want me to capital USA. Oh, no, you didn't. But technically, United States of America are fainting goats. And then let's just describe that a little bit more. They only faint for about 10 to 15 seconds. And again, this is where we're going to wrap up our passage and we're going to describe the fainting goats. So this was a shorter writing plan, but again, you can do a lot with this when you actually drag it out. So describe fainting goats. Your plan should not look like mine because this is a very open-ended question. Although there are only 6 paragraphs in this article, I really want you to take your time and drag these out, really elaborate on what is a fainting goat and describe fainting goats. Well, that's all we have for today, and we'll be back very soon, tomorrow, Thursday, and we will drag and stretch out this passage. So I will see you all tomorrow, friends.